Burnley have started their window in immense fashion with the signing of some of Europe's top talents. But it seemed the very best of their transfer dealings has not came just yet. With transfer records set to be broken and more wonder kids expected through the door, Burnley have a crazy few weeks on their doorstep. First up, Burnley are expected to annihilate their record transfer fee to sign Feyenoord left-back Quilinci Hartman.
No.
What's that?
With Ian Maatsen now unlikely to return after having a stellar start to pre-season with Chelsea, a left-back is at the very, very top of Vincent Kompany's bucket list. However, Feyenoord are adamant that they will not lose one of their key players for anything less than the price that they want, which is supposedly upwards of 20 million euros. But Burnley see it as a non-problem as they already see his value to be around that price range and have no problems forking out the money if they are to acquire his services. Honestly, Hartman fits perfectly into the profile of a Vincent Kompany left-back due to just how good he is on the ball going forward, but also the fact he brings so much more defensive stability into the Burnley side. A massive example of his contributions going forward is the fact he sits in the top 11% for most progressive passes per 90 in Europe. On top of being blatantly so good on the ball and the ability to drive the ball up the pitch, going past defenders, this adds another dimension to Burnley's attack with such a great passing range. However, a massive factor which presents the Dutch left-back as an upgrade on Ian Maatsen is his defensive capabilities, which are levels above his under 21 partner. At 6 foot, he's an asset in the air, averaging 2.16 aerial duels, 1 per 90. On top of this, he resides in the top 20% for interceptions and also blocks per 90 minutes. This is obviously ideal for Kompany's team as they most definitely need recruitment and not just left back, but in regards to overall defensive stability with a transition from championship football all the way up to the Premier League. But if I'm honest, the only real sticking point for this deal is definitely the price tag. For what I expect will be around 25 million euros being splashed out on the Eredivisie left back who's not yet played in the Premier League. It's a lot of money and a big risk for a championship team coming up to the Premier League to go splash them big bucks on someone that's, never really cut it in the Premier League because he's never had the chance. But at the same time, me saying he never had the chance is exactly why Burnley will go buy him. It's a part of the Burnley model. It's what Burnley want to do. Be signing these unknown players. Well, he's playing for Feyenoord. I guess he's not really unknown. But these players that have never really broke onto the scene on the global stage just yet, buy them for, a smaller fee and then look to turn over profit in the future. So I guess this signing really does fit that profile in there. I really wouldn't be surprised if it gets done. Moving across to the fence to right back, in which Burnley have allegedly put a bid in which accumulates to a £20 million package for Galatasaray's Sacha Boey. In the final third, he offers another creative asset to the Clarets attack with his great passing range and also ability to progress the ball up the pitch as a result of his ability to drive forward when in possession. But it is his defensive capabilities which are a huge plus for me. As I said earlier, Burnley definitely need to be very tight at the back in order to continue their attacking, free-flowing football, and Boey would obviously help that as well as Burnley going and getting Hartman. Them two as fullbacks would be absolutely insane. Again though, Sacha Boey would obviously come at such a high price due to his big ability and also the fact he's a very highly rated player already at just 22 years old. So to be honest with you, what I would expect another signing which would cost around 25 million. I'm not sure that this one will come to fruition, but if it does, I would be over the moon. He seems so good and a perfect fit for a Kompany right back. However, at the same time, we've still got Conrob who for me is more than good enough going into next season. But at the same time, Dom Pace does love to spend his money at the moment, so we'll never know. Moving up that right flank, and Burnley have allegedly had an offer accepted of £9.4 million for Troyes winger / number 10, Wilson Odobert. The French attacker definitely excels in one-on-one scenarios when isolated with the fullback and is so very good when it comes to ball carrying, which I do actually think is a massive asset to have in this Burnley team. For example, when they're playing against teams such as Man City and they are being pinned a little bit deeper, someone like Odobert who can drive the Clarets up the field, even winning free kicks, could be absolutely massive, especially under deep pressure, which at points this season they're definitely going to be under. Another benefit of Odobert is that he offers diversity in the fact he can play either as a 10 or even out wide depending on what is required as a result of his brilliant technical ability. I mean, I said it before, how good he is on the ball, how good he is 1v1. He offers so much in any of the positions that he could be played in on the pitch, whether it is through the middle or on either wing. Yet the only issue is the fact that just 18 years old, 11 million euros is a hell of a lot of money to bring a player from the second tier of France all the way up to the Premier League. league. As a backup option to the likes of Manuel Benson and Saruri, you can't really go wrong because he's only 18, he's going to have much time to develop, he'll be playing 3rd, 4th, even 5th choice potentially, so I don't think there'll be too much expectation if he does come in, and he obviously has time to embed before looking at potentially playing a bigger role next season. Just early this week it emerged that Burnley had put a bid in for Aaron Ramsey of Aston Villa of 10 million plus add-ons, which to be honest with you, it would be an absolutely incredible signing if Burnley do get it through the door. Ramsey spent last season on loan at Middlesbrough and seriously impressed as an attacking asset with his 12 goal contributions in 29 games off the wing last season. However, I do believe if Ramsey was to come into the Burnley side, he would definitely be more likely to operate through the middle as either a 10 or an 8, rather than the wing, which obviously he predominantly played whilst on loan last season. The Villa man is great in the press, which is obviously ideal to Kompany's system due to the energy required in the middle of the park in order to pin teams in, which the Clarets did so well last season. On top of this, Ramsey brings a different option to one of Josh Browner with his greater creative abilities and overall ability on the ball, which would allow Burnley to really dictate games against specific opposition rather than using Brownhill, who would likely to be used against the higher ranked teams in the league due to his more impressive defensive output. Yet again though, the big thing in this deal would be the massive price tag that I do think that Villa are going to stick on Ramsey's head. I mean, he's so impressive and he's already very highly rated throughout not just the Premier League with Aston Villa, but also the whole of the EFL with loans to Borough and Exeter. So therefore I really do doubt that Burnley's first initial fee of around 10 million with add-ons is definitely going to be rejected, and a fee more in the region of 15 to 20 million is most likely to be accepted due to the fact he's probably worth about that much. But nevertheless though, if Burnley are to pay the fee, a rotation of Lokonga, Brownhill and now obviously Aaron Ramsey would absolutely be ridiculous. With Lokonga set to come in on a loan deal, that deal's been working on from the very start of the window and it looks like it's finally going to be done in the coming days. So I really think them midfield three rotating as our 8 with Josh Cullen next to them could absolutely be a piss take. Well, at least for our level. But there's still some big money set to be spent by Burnley on these players here, and I'm sure many more. But I want you to put the figure that you think Burnley will finish on spending. I'm predicting to be around £110 million. I know that is absolutely mental, but I want to know what you think in the comments. And if you have enjoyed this video, then make sure you go check out that one right here. I'll see you guys in the next one.